Hey everyone, welcome back to the Little Shop of Hoarders PDX Baker channel. My name's Chris. Got some orders to pull that sold for me on eBay and Poshmark. And we're going to talk about how I dealt with bad buyer behavior. At least that's how I categorized it. I'm curious to see how you would have handled this situation. I'm guessing it was probably different than me, but stick around because I think you'll probably want to hear what I did.
Wanna buy that Farrah Fawcett poster? There's dispensers and a toaster. Don't know why. That kind of stuff you throw away. I'll sell on eBay.
All right, so got about 12, 13 items going out over the last day. One on Poshmark, the rest on eBay. Pretty good sales, so let's go ahead and start pulling the first one. We'll go ahead and pull that first Poshmark order. I picked up some shoes for $7.99 at my favorite thrift store. So these were a pair of Brooks shoes. They were in okay condition and they sold for $25. It says they're in box 8. I don't think they're in box 8. So anyway, I want to highlight these because I think it's important when you're outsourcing shoes, what you really are going to look for when it comes to things like running shoes. All right, so here the shoes are right here. I want to get them back to my shipping table and we'll just take a real quick closer look at these. I want to talk about what made me choose to buy these rather than leaving them behind. So as I mentioned, I paid $7.99 for them. I did clean them up and they look really nice, except for this dirt here on this toe box that I couldn't get out. But the rest, I mean, they look almost brand new. Okay, they do not have insoles, so that is a big factor that goes into it. But a lot of times runners prefer to buy their own insoles, so it's not a deal breaker, specifically with running shoes, I would say. The other thing, of course, you want to look at are the soles, the tread wear. There's a lot of life left in these. There's still, the majority of the lines are available on here, but there is some wear. So it is, if there was no visible tread on here, I wouldn't have bought these. Okay, but these have nice visible tread. They clean up nicely, and of course, the last thing you want to look at is, or one of the first things you want to look at is the model. Is it a model that is somewhat recent and still selling? So after you've determined that it's a good model, then you look at the condition issues. So no holes, no major wear, no wear in the back here. A lot of these sections on the shoes can get a lot like holes and a lot of wear on them. But even though they didn't have insoles, I went ahead and bought them. So paid $8 for them, sold them for $25 on Poshmark plus shipping in just a couple of months. So don't be afraid to not buy shoes because they don't have insoles in them. Like specifically with running shoes, people will replace them, runners will replace them, and it's just what they usually commonly do anyway. Hopefully that was a little bit helpful when it comes to sourcing shoes. I know a lot of people are afraid of shoes. They're afraid of, well, maybe not afraid, but they just don't want to deal with the cleaning, which I totally understand. It's not necessarily fun to clean the shoes, but it's not that difficult either. So I think if you're at all considering buying shoes and cleaning is the only issue, don't worry about it. It's not that big of a deal. First item that I sold on eBay is a Mary Kay Mineral Cheek Color Strawberry Cream. Picked these up for 50 cents and my big lot of makeup sold for $14.95 plus shipping. It's all profit now at this point. Well into the profit on that makeup purchase, and I still have quite a bit left. Here's a bit of a bolo. The sell-through rate on these is probably the best that I've ever seen on any item. It was nuts. So this is a Google Nest wired smoke and carbon monoxide alarm. When I posted this, when I listed it, there were 2 used listed and over 750 had sold in the last 90 days. That is basically an exponential sell-through rate, and lo and behold, I listed this and it sold within 24 hours for full price. Bought this for $4.99. at my thrift store. They definitely underpriced it based off of a lot of the things how they price things, but that sold that basically instantly for $54.95 plus shipping. So Google Nest smoke and carbon monoxide alarms, wired, non-wired. I think they both sell basically at the same rate. Really good bolo. Be on the lookout for those for sure. Do this little item here. I bought this at the the Goodwill outlet, and basically paid 48 cents for it, based off of weight. It's a solitaire game by Radica, sold for $5. Not even worth wasting our time on that one, but thought it was going to sell faster. Thought it was going to sell for about $10. It didn't do either of those things. So sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. Definitely, I still made a profit, a couple dollars. It's going to be super easy to ship. It was super easy to list. I did have to take a couple of seconds to test it with some batteries, but oh well. All right, one more item, then we'll get into that story about the bad buyer behavior. Took a chance on these. Yeah, I guess you could say I took a chance on these because they were kind of expensive. I paid $14.99 for these at my favorite thrift store, and when I looked them up, only one had sold. I don't think there were any others listed. So it was apparently it's a relatively rare pair of UGG boots. And I think part of that reason is I believe they're a little bit older, maybe 10 years or more older, but they are the Arapaho model here, men's boots. Nice pair, good condition. Looks like they've been worn a little, but not too much. And those sold for $66 plus shipping. The only other pair of these that had sold for like $125 or something. So I had mine listed at that because, hey, somebody got it one time, well, maybe could get it again. But nobody bought it at that price, and then it got into my 40% off sale. And so eventually somebody offered me $66, and I went ahead and took it. So not too bad, $15 into $66. So like I said, a little bit of a risk, but a pretty good profit for sure in the long run. Bad buyer behavior. I hate it when it happens. A lot of times I ignore it, but this time I didn't. This time I kind of said the quiet part out loud, which was how I responded to these folks. So let me set the table. This all happened yesterday. I had kind of 3 back-to-back annoying things happen. We'll just put it that way. The first one, just one of those things. It is what it is. It was probably my fault. Well, it was my fault. So I sold this Coleman camp stove and shipped it across the country. I paid $5 for it. I think I sold it for 22. Of course, the big giant thing. It's annoying, not fun to ship. Wasn't worth it at all. I'm not gonna be buying those anytime soon unless it's like a super old vintage one, maybe that happens to be worth $150 or something. Buyer got it, and so it was a propane camp stove, so it has the stove itself, and then you have a hose type of thing, a metal pipe that you screw into a portable propane tank, and then that connects into the stove itself. Well, the buyer said that they couldn't get that metal pipe thing to screw into the stove. No matter how they tried it, they just couldn't get it to work. And they really needed the stove because apparently where they live, their power regularly goes out. And so their plan is to use this camp stove as kind of a backup cooking source. Felt really bad for them because they asked if there's anything that I know of that they could do to try and get it to work. They didn't want to return the item. They really needed it. I didn't test that part. I didn't test the camp stove. I just assumed something like those, they're kind of hard to break. But I didn't try to screw it in. For all I know, it was the wrong part. I never tested it. That was my bad. I just messaged the buyer and said, I apologize. I don't really know of anything that I can do on it. I don't expect you to send it back. Here's just a full refund. So I refunded them the cost of the item plus their shipping. Tried to make them whole. I hope they can find a replacement that will actually work. So that happened. It's a bit of a bummer. It was $45 or whatever it was that I lost, but it happens. I should have tested it a little more thoroughly. The next item, or next issue, was somebody opened up a return. It was something I sold very recently. It was the Linfield swim parka, vintage 90s swim parka. Shipped it to somebody, I believe, back east in Pennsylvania or New York. Well, they opened a return yesterday because it said the item didn't fit. Well, this was really frustrating. I looked into the buyer. They had one feedback. That one feedback was from me. So essentially when they bought the item, they had 0 feedback. They just opened their account on November 24th, so barely over a week ago. I am assuming my item is the first item purchased. What was really frustrating is I had multiple pictures in the listing with the measurements of the item. I measured pit to pit. I measured from collar to hem. I measured the sleeve length. This item also is not designed to fit snugly. It's designed. It's not an item of clothing that you're going to wear for fashion purposes. So you want it to, hug your body in a certain way. It's something that's designed to keep you warm after you get out of the pool when you're swimming, professionally swimming, or not when you're competing in a swimming event. Or maybe this person was collecting it because, I'm sure they sell swim parkas nowadays. Why would you want a 25, 30, 40-year-old swim parka that's kind of a collector's item in some ways? Why would you be wanting to wear that? It was really, really suspicious to me. All those factors, the 0 feedback, the brand new account, returning an item that listed all of the measurements in the photos, saying it doesn't fit. It just set off a lot of red flags for me. I sent off a message to the buyer and I just said, it's really frustrating. I'm paraphrasing here, but I said, it's really frustrating that you're wasting my time and money by returning an item when you could have just looked at the measurements more closely in the photo. I said, I highly recommend before you buy an item of clothing, look at the measurements to make sure it's going to fit. There's no reason that you should buy an item that has the measurements in there and then, lo and behold, find out it doesn't fit after the fact. It just, in this day and age, when you're buying clothes online, that doesn't make any sense. On top of that, I said, and furthermore, if you are scamming me, because this is a brand new account, brand new buyer, if you're scamming me, I will report you to the local authorities. I kind of went scorched earth a bit on that one. I said the quiet part out loud. I said, what I think a lot of us are thinking when we're coming across issues like this, potential scams. There's a chance that this buyer is going to send me back an empty box or something that's completely different than the item that I sold to them. The item isn't super expensive, so, it's not like, if they are running a scam on an item like this, that's kind of sad. It was a $60 code. It's not like it was $400 or $500 or whatever. They're probably not going to be able to resell this for a bunch of money or whatever. I don't know. I don't know why people scam and do the things they do. I don't know what the end goal is if it's money or just to get the items for free. But nonetheless, I sent this message. I haven't heard back. They didn't respond. They did ship the item, so stay tuned. We'll see what comes when the item arrives. I'm hoping that I just massively overreacted. The person just didn't pay any attention to the photos that had the measurements in them, and they're just shipping the item back, and I'll be able to try and resell it again. That's my hope. That's the best case scenario, I guess. The third situation, and I don't know exactly how I feel about this one, but let's go ahead and pull some more items while I mention that. This item sold. I took a chance on these and it didn't really pay off. I bought this whole bunch of loose pearls from somebody for like $5, so basically paid about 30 cents each for these. I listed a whole bunch of them. It's literally just a loose pearl. You can see that pearl in the bag there right by the MK. That sold for $8.94 free shipping because they've all gone on sale because they've been in my inventory for too long. maybe they'll make a couple bucks on those. But anyway, like I said, it was kind of a gamble to see if it was going to pay off. You know, I've never come across a bunch of loose pearls before, so for $5, I thought it was totally worth the risk, the chance of maybe they would sell for a bunch more. So anyway, didn't pay off, but oh well. But yeah, the last situation, I had this old baby hanger from like the 1920s. I figured I'd Google lensed it, and I don't know, somebody on Etsy or something had one listed, and they said it was from the 1920s, maybe the 1930s. So that's where I got that time period from. It was like a color, it was painted, it had like an animal on it, and it's just a cool little old antique. So I think I bought it for $2. So I thought, you know, hey, it'd be kind of fun to see if that's something that would sell. And anyway, so I listed that item. This sold. This is just an interesting sign I found for $3. It says, "Danger, these monkeys bite and cause serious injuries. Do not approach." And that says the same thing in Spanish. For $3, I was like, that's kind of fun. Might be cool for somebody to hang up. And it paid off. It sold for $24.95 plus shipping. So that worked out pretty good. Anyways, this cool old hanger, and I had it listed for like $15, or you know, something like that. It wasn't very expensive. Let me just show it to you so you know what I'm talking about. Really doesn't have anything to do with the story, but I just want you to know what I'm talking about here. It's in box 11. All right, so here it is. I guess it's not a animal. It's a, I don't know, picture of a girl with a bonnet on. But yeah, so listed that for like $15, and you see it's not very big. And it went on sale, and then somebody offered me $5, and I said, you know what? Not getting any action on it. It's more than what I paid for it. Sure, I'll take it. So sold it for $5 plus shipping. $5.25 is what I charged for shipping. I had the buyer almost immediately message me and ask me, "Hey, when are you going to ship the item? I'm really excited to get it." And it's like, I don't know. I understand that people are curious about that. I'm not the type of person. I know there are some eBay sellers, and more power to you, who will reach out after the sale of an item, message the buyer and let them know, "Hey, I got your order. I'll get it shipped as soon as I can." I'm not that type of person. I just don't want to. I don't want to open up the line of communication, to be perfectly honest, because there's chances that you're going to get a bunch more questions or a bunch of issues, or you might have to make promises that I can't deliver on. I just don't want to worry about that. So I don't. That's just one of the reasons why I don't do it. This is a really good sale. This is a Polo Ralph Lauren lamb's wool and cashmere sweater. It's vintage. Picked this up at the Goodwill outlet. Paid about $4.75 or so for it because it's kind of heavy. I don't know if this is vintage per se, probably not, but it's got a really nice pattern on it, and that sold for pretty good money. $59.97 on that one. So nice sale for sure. So if you see this kind of pattern on a Polo Ralph Lauren sweater, definitely pick it up. This was kind of a small too. I think it is a size small. So otherwise, I think it probably could have got more in the $100 range if it wasn't so small. So yeah, I didn't message the buyer back when they asked when I was going to ship it. Just wasn't. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe I was going to message them later. I didn't message them right away, and so then a few hours passes, and this person messages me again, and this is the bad buyer behavior, in my opinion. She said something to the effect of, "Hey, when you go to ship it, if the shipping is less than the price that you quoted, please refund me the difference. Thank you." And let me tell you, that really, really rubbed me the wrong way. Probably shouldn't have, but boy, did it ever. I mentioned, first of all, that I was only charging $5.25 to ship the item. No, it doesn't weigh anything, but it's probably going to cost me, because I was shipping across the country, at least $4.75 to ship the item. Plus I have the cost of the box. Plus, of course, I'm paying fees on top of that shipping charge that was incurred. So it just completely rubbed me the wrong way that this person had, in my opinion, the nerve, had the gall to message me and ask for a refund on shipping when I charged such a reasonable low amount to ship the item. It wasn't like I was charging $8.95, $12, something that was obviously inflated. And, that was bad buyer behavior in my opinion. I thought that was completely uncalled for. To me, that's I don't know. I know people are struggling out there, and they're, trying to save money whenever they can. But if you're buying a hanger from the 1920s, is money really that much of an issue for you? So I messaged her and I said, do you really think that $5.25 is expensive to ship this item? I said I absolutely would not be refunding you any money, because I will basically break even and probably lose a little bit of money on that charge. And on top of that, I said, I really am apt to cancel this order because of this. I sent the message, waited about 20 minutes, and I canceled the order. It's just not worth it to me. It wasn't worth potentially dealing with the issues that type of buyer creates. And I know that I opened myself up to it by having such a low priced item, accepting such a low offer. It was probably my fault, and everything can be traced back to my actions. But there was a line that I wasn't willing to cross, and that was it. She then messaged me back and talked about how how she found my behavior to be so odd that I would react that way. She said that she has bought hundreds of items on eBay, and every single one of them she asks the seller to refund any extra postage on. Every single item she asks that question on. And I had to respond, and I said, congratulations on nickel and diming every small business owner that you come across. I will gladly block you from buying anything from me in the future. Good luck. Because that maybe even ticked me off a little bit more. I guess I'm not unique, so there's that. But she admitted that she asks this for every single buyer. And feel free to roast me in the comments. I probably am overreacting, and you could turn this around and say this is bad seller behavior on my part. But I think to ask, and of course we are all, it's our own prerogative whether we are going to respond to her request and refund the money. But it was just, it kind of made my jaw drop a little bit that she asks this for every single item that she has bought on eBay. And she had a 475 feedback. This was somebody that has bought a lot of things on eBay. And I have to take her at face value. She says she asks every single one. And according to her, I'm the only one that has had any sort of an issue with it, which is very possible. And that's part of why I'm contemplating titling this video. I said the quiet part out loud when it comes to bad buyer behavior on eBay. I feel like I'm saying the things that a lot of other sellers want to say, but maybe they don't want to risk offending somebody. Maybe they don't want to worry about negative feedback. Maybe they just aren't jerks like I am. I don't know. Maybe they don't like the conflict. But I feel like it's important to address that type of behavior. It's like I said, it's nickel and diming all of the small business owners out there that are on eBay. And times are tough as it is, not only for everybody out there, the buyers, but the sellers as well. Sure, overall sales are good for me, but they might not be next month or the month after. And if I'm just going to come in and let these buyers just nickel and dime us, well, then it's just a principle thing for me. So comment below. Tell me if you think I'm crazy. Tell me if you think I'm a jerk. Tell me if you think I did the right thing or any of the things in between. Let me know what you think about that. All right, a couple more items. This is a really good one here. Picked this up at the same sale that I got my JFK bobblehead, which I bought for $1 and sold for 375 bucks or 365 bucks or something like this. I bought these for $2. I think they were $1 each. It's like an old folk art type of thing. We got an older woman and an older man here. They appear to be hand carved. There are no markings on here. Got a felt base on the bottom. And he used to have a pipe. That will come through. He used to have a pipe. There's a hole right there, but no more pipe. But listed these as bookends or folk art. And I think some had sold, maybe on Etsy. Maybe in the past on eBay. I looked them up on WorthPoint. But bought those for $2. And somebody messaged me and asked if they were stained or if that was the color of the wood. I honestly don't know the answer to it. I said I think they're stained, but I don't really know. Anyway, he offered me $42.95, and I took that. So sold those for $42.95. At a really nice sale, really nice profit. So I also bought a pair of pants there for, I don't know, $3 or so, and sold them for like 22. Actually, they were short, so I think I sold them for 18. So I spent $5 at that sale, and I made probably $450 on the 3 items. So that was probably the best overall sale that I've been to in a long time, if not ever. It was a really good one. I picked these up for really cheap a long time ago. I have a few of them left. It is a Detroit Red Wings luggage tag. Paid about 70 cents for them, and it's on my sale now, so I'm just trying to get rid of it at this point. I've had it for a couple years. Sold for $8.99 free shipping. I'll basically make 50 cents $1 on them, something like that. And I picked this item up at an estate sale. It was kind of throw everything in a bag, pay 10 bucks for the bag, and I paid about $1.50 for it. I've seen these sell. That's a vintage wherever cookie gun. Obviously comes with a box, and I don't know if it was ever used. All the dies are in there, and anyway, that sold for $14.21 plus shipping. 'Tis the season for that kind of item to sell. And then lastly, I picked these up for $2, probably at a yard sale somewhere. Once again, I really changed my tune. Shoot, forgot what box that was in. If you have been watching me lately, you wouldn't think I've changed my tune, but I really have changed my tune. I used to not be interested in buying Levi's because there are so many Levi's listed on eBay. You know, I'm 150,000 or more. Maybe it's 1 million. I can't remember. There's just tons and tons of Levi's listed. And I was thinking, you know, why buy Levi's and try and list them in the midst of the millions of other listings on there, thousands of other listings. But the reality is the reason why there are so many listings is because there are a lot of pants, Levi's pants and jeans that sell. So these are a pair of Levi's 501s. They are, like I said, picked these up for $2 at a yard sale. They've got, I listed them as distressed in the title because they are dirty. They've got stains on there that didn't come out in the wash. Structurally, they're fine, but those sold for $18.95 plus shipping. Levi's 501s are for sure one of the better ones, in my opinion, to pick up because they're just those classic jeans that I don't know if they'll ever go out of style. People are always going to want them, and even though there are probably 100,000 of them listed, they'll still sell. So anyway, like I said, comment below. Let me know, was I a jerk? Did I do okay? Did I stand up for resellers out there? Or did I just give us a bad name? Let me know what you think. Thanks so much for watching. Please like this video if you did. Subscribe to my channel to get more content like this one in the future. Good luck with all your reselling ventures out there, and we'll catch you on the next video. So take care. Bye-bye.